What is going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be talking about all the exterior lighting, getting rid of all the flashers, which are already off right now, and what we do with that, along with all the side markers, because the side markers that come with it, frankly, are absolute trash. These videos in here are going to be taking over the course of about a month's worth of working a lot of different things as I can due to insulation on the inside and stuff like that. So, I'm going to jump up to these first, and we're going to knock these out.
Okay, let's start talking about these flashers up top. Now, these things gotta go. They are not legal in the state of Washington to have them on your bus. They have to be completely covered over in black paint, which I think that just looks absolutely ugly. So, I'm gonna be replacing these things with some Auxbeam round bright lights. I got 4 of them. One for each of the flasher lights up top. I did toss around different ideas on how to seal up those front areas, like take some sheet metal like I did for the back. I did think about doing different brackets, different mounts, and I actually decided I'm gonna take the flasher modules, the entire assembly, and make some adjustments. First thing I gotta do is definitely take off the bulb assembly in the center. Pretty much get rid of that entire assembly altogether. You gotta drill out a couple pop rivet spots that do hold on the ground wire and go to the original light bulbs in there. You gotta step it up just a little bit so you can get the plug all the way through the back end there, so you can have the wiring coming through the back of that module. And then just mounting up the brackets to that assembly is pretty easy and pretty straightforward. And then physically assemble the entire light onto that bracket. Once that has been completed, it is pretty simple to seal it up. Took some silicone sealant, taped up the back of the assembly so then the silicone has something to stick to in the meantime while it is drying and curing on there. Whether that completely seals up and keeps it sealed, I'm going to have to take a test on that when I'm driving around to make sure it seals up and stays sealed that way.
With these assemblies all prepped and ready, I am just going to take this right here, I guess pull this blue tape off, because that is not needed. And then just use some self-tapping screws, the back side on here, into the existing holes that already had these from factory. Pretty easy, mount them up, just like they were original. All right, and there we go. They are all up and installed, and they are looking fantastic. Now, on the inside, wiring up these lights is actually very, very simple, especially with the wiring harnesses that Auxbeam gives you. Pretty much plugs in here. If you want to be doing some sort of like blinkers or hazards in there, I'm not going to be doing that at the moment. There is a kind of legality issue with that. You're not supposed to have anything blinking up top. Has a fuse, it has a relay, and everything you need, including a switch to hook it in. So let's jump to something else, like the headlights, blinkers, and all the rest of them. We got to swap all those out for some really good bulbs. So let's talk headlights. Now that we got those installed up top, it is time to start talking about the running lights. If anybody has ever driven a school bus at night, you absolutely know that the lights are garbage. I actually was able to procure some Auxbeam Jeep XJ headlights. They are the same assemblies, same plugs, same everything. I'll link these in the description below for you guys as well. Okay, as you can see, that is a whole heck of a lot better. That is such a dull yellow light compared to a super bright white light. To get these out, it's super duper simple. You got 6 screws. This assembly comes off. You have a plug on the back side with the light bulb. Now we have access to the actual light itself. And then there's just 4 screws holding this bezel on. Old housing, old bulb. And the new housing with the new plug. All right, and there we go. They are now on. That is so much better. I can't wait to try these out at night, along with those guys up top. I did blind the neighbor's house last night. Oops. One last thing to take note, LED lights react differently than standard halogen lights, especially those headlights. So when it comes to the daytime running lights, it does this like kind of super fast flicker. You should consult your local laws. I know a lot of states, they are required, and Canada, they're required across the entire country. So if you're doing this, it is on your own accord, but the daytime running light fuses are right here. Both ignition and accessory daytime running lights, F5 and F6. F5 and F6. So now the daytime running lights aren't going to cause that to flicker all the time while the ignition is on. Also right here, this flasher module, you do need to swap this out for an LED flasher module. I will link the correct one in the description below for you guys. You got to switch this out so your blinkers don't do like that crazy flicker blink. It'll actually blink like they should. And if you guys don't want to pull the fuses out for those daytime running lights, you do have these guys here you can wire in. It's going to create a constant on for the daytime running lights. Another thing to replace are these light bulbs for all of the blinkers, the tail lights, and the reverse lights. I'm swapping them out with an Auxbeam LED version of it. They're quite a bit better. Which one would you choose? Yeah, definitely go for these guys. This is going to be replacing every single one of them. This one for the amber for all the turn signals. And then, of course, I have the white ones for the reverse lights and the tail lights as well. Taking these off is super duper easy. You have 4 screws around the outside here, because there's 8 screws, 4 take off the assembly, 4 take off the lens. Push down, twist it, pull it right back out. Super duper easy to replace these guys. And for these bulbs specifically, they are 1156. And these bulbs coming in here are a 3157. I will make sure and link those in the description below, because I had to try and find those of all the different light bulbs for all the different vehicles. So before I did all the paint and before I did pretty much anything else, I moved those rear lights from the back wall back there and brought them down here to the bumper. What we're going to do is we're going to do a jump back to that. So come into the back here with the tail lights. I don't want the backup lights, brake lights, or the blinkers to be up on the cab anymore, because if the Jeep's parked up here, you can't see it, and if they are up there and this is empty, somebody's going to smash into the back end of me thinking that I'm farther ahead. So I'm going to bring all those back down here. All 3 of them sitting right here on either side. I think it's going to look pretty decent. The goal now is to center them inside this bumper here, and then make sure they are all up and down, lined up how the screws need to be. Make sure everything is exactly perfect. We got both sets of the taillights all set up, blinkers on the outside, brakes / running lights in the middle, and then the reverse lights in the middle. I think they look really good. I would say they almost look like they could be in factory location, how they're set up like this. So I'm gonna call it a win. Okay, and now that we're back, it is time to start actually replacing the bulbs on here. Just like the front, I have white ones to go into the rear lights, like the backup lights, and I also have another set of white ones for the red lenses, and then another set of amber ones for the blinkers. So, yep, gonna swap these out real quick, and just like the front, super duper easy. And look at this last bulb I pulled out from one of the blinkers. I don't know how or if that was even running. It is like what? Compared to the standard bulb? Huh. Okay. So let's talk side marker lighting. That is going to be one of the first things I'm going to do on here for all the safety. Right now I have one up front, one towards the rear, and one at the rear. And originally right here there was a light bulb that was sitting in here. I'm going to be removing this out and replacing this as well. I do want to do something where it actually has all of the lights the same. I don't know why. For me, I don't like having things that are all different, so I don't want to have like these top ones different than all the rest of them that are on the bus. I have ordered up a bunch of lights about this big. They're 3 LEDs instead that should be a little bit brighter than these halogen lights here. So I'm going to show you what those look like. So they are very small 3 LED lights. It doesn't say what the light wattage or anything on there. I'm going to assume they are 1 watt each, so maybe 3 watts per light bulb. But these are going to be going in all those different locations. But I'm not going to stop there. I want to make sure everything is very, very well seen. So I did measure it out, and I'm going to be doing one of those little light bulbs in the back section, this section here, which measures out at 3 feet 10 inches, and then 3 feet 10 inches all the way down, which actually does mean that the final one up there is 3 foot 10 inches from that last one. And then I'm going to measure out 3 more going down the side here. One in that front hole by the YouTube symbol, one probably right between the T and the R, and then one back here by the door. The original side marker lighting, they were halogen light bulbs, and these casings or the coverings are fading out super bad. So I don't want to have these on here just because, frankly, they look ugly and they are not very bright at all. 7 of the 10 holes are going to be pretty easy. Just using a standard hole saw at 3 1/4 inches, we're just going to drill through and put some holes in here. For the existing holes where the side markers used to be at, these holes are not quite the proper size. They're ever so slightly too small. So, I don't know if you've ever tried drilling out a hole that's already there, but I got this piece of wood here, using as kind of the guide, and just like that. Not too bad. Ooh, hopefully I didn't nick those wires in there. Oops. Putting these lights in is definitely the easiest part. Little grommet comes off, grommet in the hole, light in the grommet. You cut through, and then it sets right in. Jumping on up in here, we got the 2 wires that we fed in earlier. Yellow is going to be towards the power, black for the ground. This part's going to be pretty easy if you've ever done any wiring. This one's going to be our main power wire, and then we're going to use the bus frame as the ground. With all of these wired up, it is time to test them out. I did heat shrink them all, wrap them all up in tape, everything I needed to make sure that they're safe, and leaving that extra little bit of room on there so I can pull it out on the outside. Let's jump out to the outside and check them out. I haven't seen them yet, so let's see how they work. All right, those look great, minus the one that doesn't work. Well, I left a lot of room to pull them out and replace it, but they are looking super good. They aren't crazy bright to like light up the ground or cars next to me, but that's not the point of what they are. They're meant to me being seen while driving down the road. And with that, every single light on the outside of this bus is now LED lights. All the lights running down the sides that we added in, all the blinkers, all the headlights, crazy lights up top, they are all new. They're all LED, so it should make the bus a lot safer. I can see a lot better, and frankly, it just moves a lot cooler having LEDs everywhere. Everything but the side lights down the side are by Auxbeam. I will link every single one of the lights, light bulbs, flashers, and these crazy lights up top in the description below for you guys, and they should work for almost every single bus that you have out there. I know a lot of times I have Wranglers, so I bash on Cherokees saying that the Wrangler's better, then of course Cherokee say it's better than the Wranglers and all that, but it is kind of funny how I keep adding parts onto a lot of my vehicles that come from a Cherokee. Yeah, Bug and Joe, you'd be proud. You can go to off-road. If you guys are watching that, we now have XJ headlights on the bus. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to see you guys all next time.